barbershop one time, and there was three barbers in the shop, and there were 7 or 8 guys waiting. One of the barbers finishes, he goes to the queue, do you want your haircut? It's all right, mate, I'm waiting for this guy. And then all the way down the line, every single one of those 7 or 8 guys in the queue, they're all waiting for one of the other two. And this guy's standing there. He's got 8 customers, none of them want him. What's that going to do to anyone? That's just a killer. That's a killer. I remember this moment happening. Well, I must have been getting my hair cut. I must have been the guy leaving, or I must have been getting my hair cut by one of the other two, because I'd have gone to the guy. I wouldn't want to make him feel bad. It could have been Hannibal Lecter standing there, and he could have had Edward Scissorhands hands, and I'd be oh yeah, sure, I'll get my hair cut. Don't want to make you feel bad. So Barney is kind of stitched together from all these moments in barbershops, 30 years, getting a haircut, lots of different barbershops, lots of different barbers, and just taking the worst moments, taking those little things that are just like, holy crap. Or you see incidents or really bad haircuts or guys cutting hair and thinking, oh God, they're terrible, or really boring guy, whatever. It's just stitching them all together into this one kind of Frankenbarber type. Frankenbarber. Yeah, I did that. Timeline was, wrote the book about 20 years ago. Took me 3 years to find a publisher. Another year for the whole thing to come together and be published. So it was first published in 1999, February. Just before that, the film rights were first sold. Those guys tried to make the movie for a few years. That never happened. There were a lot of lunches. Lunch is important. Enjoyed the lunches. Lots of food. Lots of talk about the movies. Sitting there, out in public, in restaurants. Part of the movie business. I'm in the movies. Movie didn't happen, but nobody hearing me being in movie meetings talking about the movies knew the movie wasn't going to happen. It sounded good over lunch. I'll have a cappuccino because I'm in the movies. Film rights were sold to somebody else. They tried to make the movie for a year or two, maybe a year, never happened. And then 7 or 8 years ago, the film rights were first taken by Rich Cowan, the co-writer and producer of this movie. About 4 years ago, Robert Carlyle first started getting mentioned, to me at any rate. And I think that was 4, might have been 3. Took a long time to come together. And finally, they started shooting the movie last June. Premiered this June. Just gone like that. 20 years. I think when you sign the kind of deal that I signed with them, you give the story over to the movie makers. So you just got to give it up, let it go. I didn't have a P.L. Travers saving Mr. Banks type thing where I could turn up and complain about Barney wearing a red outfit. Well, Barney can't be in red. I don't like red. I didn't have that. I just had to let it go. I don't think you'd read the book and think, well, that's Robert Carlyle. But then when you see him, he's bang on. He's got the melancholy, the detachment. He's the loser. You want him to win, though. You want him. You're rooting for him. Everybody's talking about, is Barney going to be asked to join the Avengers? Is it possible? Well, yeah. I mean, it's not like some of those guys don't need a haircut. Thor. Favourite line. You maybe didn't hear me. It's my bingo night at the bars!